Today's video is going to be on a nutrition subject, and that is the difference between probiotics, prebiotics, and how we can best support a healthy gut microbiome. So most of you guys will know what a prebiotic is. A lot of us are already taking them as a supplement. A lot of us are also taking fermented foods such as sauerkraut, kimchi, also includes kefir and kombucha, in the hope that it's actually helping to support our healthy gut microbiome. Now, while those fermented foods and probiotics are really fantastic, they have a lot of benefits. So fermented foods, for example, contain live compounds that help to nurture and stimulate gut healing in our body. Unfortunately, the idea that they help to improve our gut microbiome over the long term is not 100% correct. So what that actually means for us is that when we're taking probiotics or fermented foods, yes, they do contain levels of healthy bacteria, which can improve our own healthy bacteria levels in the body, but they only work temporarily. So they only really improve numbers or the health of our gut microbiome while we're taking them, which means that we're sort of stuck taking these supplements long term if we want to gain the positive benefits of having a healthy microbiome. That's not really what we want to do. What we want to do is to be able to stimulate, nurture, and protect our own gut microbiome to become healthy so that we're not dependent on supplements, so that it can actually work on its own, and that's really what we want for long-term health. So that's then where we go into the topic of prebiotics. So prebiotics, as well as other specific foods, really are important to help nurture our gut microbiome, because what they do is they feed directly the good bacteria in our body, and they encourage them to then multiply, repopulate, and to basically refeed our gut microbiome so that we have that healthier balance of good and bad bacteria. So key point here is we don't just want to be taking probiotics and putting in bacteria into our body. They don't tend to stick around, unfortunately. What we want to be doing is feeding the existing good bacteria that we already have, so that long term we're able to improve the numbers of healthy bacteria and to then have a healthy microbiome. So there are some specific prebiotic rich foods that then directly feed the healthy bacteria. So a prebiotic, just to clarify, is a food that directly only feeds the good bacteria. So that's really, really great. They don't tend to feed the bad bacteria so much, but they really target the good bacteria that we want to increase in our body. So they include things like broccoli, like cabbage, Brussels sprouts, anything from that Brassica family. Artichokes are really high in prebiotics as well. You've got your onion, your garlic, your leek as well, green beans. A few of you are probably thinking, oh, they look like really high FODMAPs foods, and it's true. So FODMAPs low diets tend to avoid fructooligosaccharides and galacto-oligosaccharides, and they're actually the prebiotic rich foods that help to feed our healthy microbiome, our healthy bacteria. So yes, if you are highly sensitive, if you've got a lot of gut issues or you're inflamed in your gut, you will find that having these foods may increase or make your symptoms worse. It is important though that anyone starting these start off, a little bit slow, wait until your body gets used to it. We shouldn't take, too long. But the fact that they are so rich in prebiotics is also the reason why they are so beneficial for our gut microbiome. So a really great type of food to be including in your diet to support our gut microbiota, as long as you can tolerate them, of course. So some other foods that we can be eating on a regular basis. So you want to be taking small portions of these foods every day to feed and nourish our microbiome. So another group of foods that are really great to help support that microbiome are the polyphenol-rich foods. So that's anything when we think of sort of colourful berries, colourful fruits. So things like your strawberries, blueberries are fantastic, black currants if you can get them, cherries, red apples. These type of foods though, you do need to try and get organic and spray-free if you can. Unfortunately, they have been found to be quite commonly high in pesticides, herbicides and chemicals. And those factors actually have a negative effect on our gut microbiome. So you don't want to be taking all these really lovely foods thinking they're going to help support your microbiome and your good bacteria when they're then covered in chemicals, which then has an opposite effect. So they're the polyphenol-rich foods. The next group of foods that are really good in helping support our gut microbiome are the prebiotic-like foods. So they're not technically prebiotics, but they are very similar to prebiotics and function similar to prebiotics. They include things like your raw almonds, so particularly the skin, which is why you do want to get the raw almonds, not your roasted, not your sort of salted, heavily processed almonds. Almond butter can be a really good way to get a big portion of that. Carrots, so orange carrots, purple carrots, those sort of things. So they're really great prebiotic-like foods that you can be including in your diet every day to help nourish that really healthy microbiome. The last category that helps to really support our microbiome are the resistant starch foods. So any type of legume, so these are red lentils, soak them overnight just to reduce the amount of anti-nutrients that can block mineral absorption, and then cook them. You know, beans, lentils, those sort of things are really good. And oats are really high in resistant starch as well. Again, you want to soak them overnight. And for people that are gluten intolerant or have gluten sensitivity, oats are technically gluten-free. It's just that when they're processed, they tend to be contaminated by all the other grains that are processed in the same facility. So if you are gluten intolerant or have a gluten sensitivity, you can actually eat oats, but you do need to look for the gluten-free certified types out there. So they're your resistant starch. Another really good resistant starch food is actually cooked and cooled potatoes. So just your simple white potato, you want to cook them and then let them cool overnight in the fridge, and then have it like as a potato salad, for example. Cooking and then cooling them actually changes the form of the carbohydrate in the potato to make it into a resistant starch that our body then can't digest, and which feed then our good bacteria. So by just tweaking the way you actually eat your potatoes, you're actually helping to nourish your healthy bacteria numbers and re-establish that really healthy gut microbiome. So just to summarize, prebiotics, sorry, there's a fly in here. It's all these really fresh fruit and veggies, I think, attracting it to it. But just to summarize, guys, probiotics and fermented foods, although great, don't permanently re-inoculate or repopulate your gut microbiome. So that means that you need to be taking them long term to gain those good benefits that we want. Prebiotics and plant-based foods are really supportive, and they actually help to stimulate and feed our good bacteria so that we can have a healthy microbiome long term. So we went over a couple of categories. There were your polyphenol-rich foods, so your colourful fruits and veggies, your prebiotic-rich foods, so those FODMAPs high, you know, onions, garlic, leeks, broccoli type foods, your prebiotic-like foods, so your almonds, your carrots, and then that last category, those resistant starch foods. So they contain that type of starch that our body can't actually break down, but that our healthy bacteria really love to feed on. So yes, if you have any questions or issues, or just pop them in the comments box below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Share this with anyone that you might benefit. And if you can, subscribe as well. Look forward to talking to you guys soon.